You wake up every morning in a tiny room with gray walls. From the corner, a screen watches you, a screen that can never be turned off. It speaks to you. It shows you the news. It observes your every movement. You cannot remember the last time you were truly alone. You step outside, and everywhere there are posters bearing the same face. A mustachioed man stares at you from walls, from lampposts, from the facades of buildings. The caption beneath his portrait declares that he is watching you, and you know, it is true. He is always watching. You work in an enormous building where hundreds of people rewrite the past. Your job is to erase what was and create what never existed. Yesterday there was a war with one country. Today it is officially announced that there was never a war with that country. The war has always been with another country. You alter newspaper articles, books, documents. You destroy photographs of people who were heroes yesterday, but became traitors today. You make it so they never existed. And the most terrifying thing, you begin to believe in what you create. The language around you changes with each passing year. It is being deliberately simplified. Words are being cut from it. The fewer words there are, the fewer thoughts can be expressed. Soon there will be no words for rebellion, because the very concept of freedom will have disappeared. How can you desire something for which there is no name? How can you think about something that cannot be formulated? You live in a world where love is a crime. Not love for the state, of course. You must love the state. You must love the party and its leader. But to love another person, that is forbidden. Because love creates a bond stronger than fear. Love makes you loyal to someone other than the power. And power demands all of you, without remainder. You meet someone. In this world of total surveillance, eternal fear, and endless lies, you manage to find a person who thinks as you do, who also remembers that the world was different, who also hates the endless meetings where everyone screams hatred at enemies, who also feels that behind the smiles and slogans lies emptiness and horror. You begin meeting in secret. Every encounter is a risk. You find places where, as far as you can tell, there are no cameras. You whisper, fearing that the walls will hear. And in these brief moments you feel alive. For the first time in many years, you sense that you are a human being, not a cog in a machine. You dream of resistance. They say it exists, an underground organization fighting against the system. You are ready for anything to join it. You are ready to kill, to lie, to betray innocence, all to destroy this regime. And you do not notice how you yourself become similar to what you are fighting. You believe that the end justifies the means, exactly as the party believes. They catch you. Of course they catch you. They were watching you from the very beginning. Your every step was known, your every word recorded. That room where you met and felt safe? There was a hidden camera. That person who seemed an ally and gave you a book about how the system works. He was one of them. It was all a performance. They do not simply arrest you. They bring you to a place where there is no day or night, where time dissolves, where the only reality is pain and a voice asking you questions. They do not want to kill you. Death would be too easy an escape. They want to change you. They want you to, sincerely, with all your heart, love the system. Not to pretend, to truly love it. They explain to you how this world is arranged. Power does not exist for the sake of order, not for the happiness of people, not for some higher purpose. Power exists for its own sake. Power is an end in itself. The god of the party is power itself, and you understand the full horror of what is happening. They do not believe in their own slogans. They know they are lying. They know that history is being rewritten. They know that wars are meaningless, and they do not care. Because the only thing that matters is control. Complete, absolute control over reality, over the past, over the human mind. They ask you how many fingers they are holding up. You see 4. They tell you it is 5. And they beat you until you say 5. But that is not enough. They beat you until you see 5. Until your mind breaks enough to accept the lie as truth. Because anyone can say anything. What matters is to believe. Every person has a limit. Everyone has something they fear more than anything else. A room where your personal horror dwells. For you, it is rats. You fear them to the point of madness, to the point of losing your sanity. And when a cage of hungry rats is brought to your face, when only a thin door remains between you and them, a door about to be opened, you do what they were waiting for. You betray. You scream for them to do it not to you, but to the person you loved. You are ready for anything to escape your fear. And in that moment you are broken completely. They release you. You walk free, if this can be called freedom. You sit in a cafe and drink gin that smells of oil. Sometimes you encounter that person with whom you were close. You have both changed. You both betrayed each other. There is nothing left between you. You feel no hatred, no love, only emptiness. You are broken in the same way. Triumphant marches sound from the telescreen. They announce victory in the war. The crowd rejoices, and you rejoice with them. You look at the portrait of the leader, and tears stream down your cheeks. This is not pretense. You truly love him. After everything they did to you, after all the pain, humiliation, and fear, you have learned to love your tormentor. The struggle is finished. You have won the victory over yourself. This story is not simply a dystopia about a totalitarian state. It is an exploration of human nature, an exploration of how a personality can be destroyed, how a person can be made to accept lies as truth, how love, friendship, and human connection can be broken. The author wrote this book while observing what was happening in the world in the middle of the 20th century. He saw how propaganda works, how history is rewritten, how masses of people enthusiastically support tyrants, and he warned, this can happen anywhere. This can happen to you. You think you would have stood firm? That you would not have broken? That your love, your principles, your identity are stronger than the system? Perhaps. Or perhaps not. That is the whole horror of the book. It leaves no hope. It shows a world where the system has won absolutely, where even the thought of rebellion was planned and used to identify the unreliable, where there is no salvation, no underground, no force capable of resisting the machine. But the book was not written to plunge you into despair. It was written so that you could see the mechanisms, how information is controlled, how the past is rewritten, how language is simplified, how connections between people are destroyed, how fear transforms into love for the one who inspires fear. When you know how manipulation works, you can recognize it. When you understand that the past can be rewritten, you begin to seek primary sources. When you see that language is being impoverished, you fight for every word. The book ends with the hero's defeat, but the book itself is an act of resistance. As long as it is read, as long as it is remembered, as long as it is passed from hand to hand, the system has not won completely. Your mind is the last fortress. Guard it well.